Hey everyone, this is Rebecca with Conscious Accounting. Welcome back to our podcast. Today we have Morgan Bars from Wing Woman Brands, and we're so excited to have her here. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so I'm so excited to learn all about you and what you do and just tell everyone all about the cool things that you're up to. So can you start by just giving us a little background on who you are, how you got to be doing what you're doing, and then what exactly it is that you do?
Yeah, so I'm actually very young. I just graduated college last semester in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh, geez.
Thank you. Yeah, so that has kept things very interesting, but I always knew by the time I wanted to graduate college that I wanted to be working for myself. So
How did you know that?
I don't know. Honestly, I used to have this cupcake business with my sister when we were like 13, 14, 15. But that's when I really figured out that I loved just building my own creative ideas. So I guess that's when I like really realized that, I kind of like having complete control to do like whatever creative things I want. But yeah, so I graduated college and then I had been setting myself up with clients so that by the time I graduated, I could just fully work for myself.
Wow.
Yeah, so my entire senior year of college, I actually did this program called Camp CEO. It's in Tampa through the Girl Scouts.
Oh, wow.
And they would bring in like 30 professional CEOs and VPs from the Tampa area.
Wow.
And I coordinated the entire program and we would go camping together.
Oh my God, that's
for
a dream.
Weekend. It was actually so fun. And then we would match those VPs and CEOs up with college age girls and high school girls.
Oh, that's
so they would have
incredible.
like a mentor, but we would do all these fun activities. So I made so many connections through that, that I actually was an assistant for a professional etiquette expert. So she does all the training for the NFL teams, the MLB teams. She trains them on etiquette. And she would travel. We would go to Fox. She would be on a segment every other week. And that's how I got started. I got started in TV. I would have my own, I would go on like every other week for a couple of months on TV.
Wow.
And talk about marketing, talk about branding, building a personal brand.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and from that, I like got familiar in the TV world. So I started with them and I would help them with their book launches, their product launches, and building a bigger business off of themselves.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So is that what you learned how to do in school? Like, did school completely prepare you for that?
Oh, no. No, school for me, I look at like my college experience as a time where I was able to explore a bunch of different things and really use like the student card to say, I'm a student. Like, can you help me out? Can we get virtual coffee? But I was very self-taught, like podcast, YouTube videos, very, I guess like a millennial success story. Everyone says that they taught themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, and you just weren't afraid to just teach yourself things. And
no, I was so open. I come from a family that I was the first person to even graduate college on both sides. Some people like don't even continue their education at all. But I always knew that I saw something so much bigger for myself.
Wow.
So I was so open just to like exploring anything and like figuring out where I saw myself to get to that big picture vision that I still have for myself.
That's so cool. Do you have any advice for people who don't have that kind of confidence? Like, how do you figure out what your vision for yourself is and how to trust yourself? Like,
yeah, I have this like little practice that I do where whenever I learned it online, like off of a TikTok video. And I recently started doing this, but I used to do this before and I didn't know that other people do this, but it's called like the why exercise. So I'll go down an entire sheet of paper and if I'm feeling like insecure about doing something or not confident, I'll say like, oh, why am I not feeling confident about that? And then on the second line, I'll break down that first answer and say, well, why do I feel like that? And why do I feel like that? So if I ever feel like not confident to pursue something, I either do that in my head or on a piece of paper. And then you realize like, oh, it actually doesn't really matter.
Wow. Okay. So give us an example. Can you think of any on the spot?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just be completely like vulnerable. So like yesterday I did this and sometimes I feel very insecure to pitch and to sell. I love the process
Same.
of sales. Yeah. But I never want someone to feel like I'm trying to sell them.
Right.
But if I see someone that I'm like, oh, you would be a perfect fit, we could do this, I want to approach them. And so I sent a DM or something, like an email, and they actually blocked me. So I
Whoa.
felt so insecure about that because I'm a very, yeah.
And your intentions were so good.
Right, they're so pure. So I did the little why exercise. I'm like, well, why do I feel insecure when I'm trying to help someone and someone denies me?
Right.
Oh, like, and I just break it down that way until I
Yeah.
figure out that I just feel that way because I'm like putting my heart out there to support them with it.
Right, because you wanted to help them, and then they didn't want to receive that help.
Right.
And so it just feels like you did something wrong, or they're mad at you.
Right.
But all you did was something like so sweet and nice.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've been really, especially recently, getting into mindset stuff and manifesting things and like really being intentional with a routine for that. And it's actually been like,
Wow.
it's really centering for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you are wise beyond your years, girl. That's amazing.
you.
Are you gonna write a book someday with all of
I
this
want
in it?
to.
Yeah,
I
you
actually
got
want to
to.
write a book about like maybe in the next 2 or 3 years about going through college and like the post-college life.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that would be really helpful. Like I would have loved to read something like that.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I always felt like out of place. Because my sister jokes around that like as soon as I popped out of the womb, they caught me in like a blazer or something. So I've always felt like I've always been extremely professional.
Yes.
So yeah, I would love to read like a book like that.
Oh my God. I can't wait to see what, like, you have so many years ahead of you, and you're just going to do.
Well, you're going to be with me because you're going to be my accountant.
Yes. I'll have my eye on you. But man, I should get your autograph now.
Oh my
because
gosh, no.
It's so cool. And I mean, this girl is the girl who like hand wrote me a thank you card for like offering my services to her. And I like mailed it to my address. And it was like,
See, but it's
just
so
doesn't
fun to
happen
get
anymore.
handwritten cards.
oh yeah. And your cards were so cute.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
I have my little picture on the back.
Yes. Adorable. Love it. So, okay. So did you major in marketing?
Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
So you had a taste for marketing, you kind of knew you were into it, but they weren't teaching you like real life skills of how to
no.
actually apply that to a career, especially an entrepreneurial career.
Right.
But it sounds like this connection you made was really what opened,
A ton of doors for me.
yeah, and helped you pick like a theme sort of for what type
Right.
of marketing.
So now I kind of work more. At first, I did like social media management as like freelancing in college because I was just trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
But now I'm more on the PR side.
Okay.
Because I love the idea of talent management and helping people get booked for bigger podcasts, bigger shows.
Wow.
So I do that side of things.
So how do you do that?
That's a good question. A lot of it comes from getting a really good pitch angle. So being able to hear someone's story when they're just like spilling out everything that's in their brain, picking out key elements and organizing it. I'm a very like relationship driven person. So I love building up all those relationships, which is why it has really worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just reaching out with like pure intentions and getting a good pitch together. And that's how I got started in it really. And it's been very successful actually.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. So speaking of success, so you've actually just brought on a team member.
Yes.
So, this is a question as an accountant I get a lot of,
Right.
When is it time to bring someone else on, or, how do I know if I'm ready, and
Right.
what type of, like, should they be an employee, a contractor? So tell us about how did you get to that point? How did you know it was time, and how do you decide, what they should do? How's the interview process work? All of that.
Yeah. Well, I was wondering the same thing for a while. I was like, when is it time? Like, when do you exactly know? And now that I have her on the team, I'm like, wow, I should have done this like 6 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would say I was working a lot of hours and I felt like I couldn't expand out the business and expand out my clients the way that I wanted to because I wasn't able to then handle all the pitching, all the emails, all the
Right.
coordinating. So I brought her on at first for just 5 hours a week. So I was like, okay,
Start
well,
small.
I'll just test it out. And then I just upped her to 10 hours a week. Because we have so many things going on.
amazing.
Yeah, and I have just this big picture vision for what I want things to be. And it's really taken a lot of stuff off of my plate so that I'm able to expand the business out too.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but I didn't go about like recruiting her in a very like professional recruitment way.
Yeah.
I just kind of posted on Instagram, and then we got like 10 or 12 applicants.
Oh, wow.
So then I just went through those.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you split the duties? Like, what does she do versus what do you do?
Yeah, I use Asana. Have you heard of Asana?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with like organized
Yes,
project
so fun.
management
Same.
tools. Yeah. So I started her off on because she actually has no prior business experience.
Okay.
But I really saw the potential in her. So I started off with something like very standard, with just like Instagram account engagement, which is like the very beginning.
Okay.
And then slowly I phased her into like a 90-day onboarding plan.
Smart.
And I just like planned it all out because I'm a huge planner.
Yes.
And I love to track goals, progress, all of it.
Oh my God,
So
you're
we have like
amazing.
little set goals at the end of the week. Like the smaller goal should we get to go pick up mobile order at Starbucks. And like the bigger goal, we're going to lunch at Oxford Exchange.
Oh man, how do I get into
I
this
know.
office? Man, this
I know,
sounds
here
amazing.
I am. I'm like pushing her towards those goals because I'm like, I need a latte at Oxford Exchange in the atrium, okay?
Yes, I love that. You're like, this kind of is ulterior motives a little bit.
I know, because now
but
I have an excuse to go. 'Cause
yes.
it's such a treat to go somewhere like that.
Totally. Somewhere with such beautiful ambiance.
Oh my gosh,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow, that is really cool. So what kind of clients are you working with right now?
Yeah, so right now we pretty much work with females in TV,
Okay.
or female authors or female speakers. But we are actually launching a different side of things. It's a subscription service. We just launched it this week.
Oh my God,
And
congrats.
thanks. Yeah, it's actually matchmaking for female professionals.
Whoa.
So we match them with virtual coffee dates based on what they need in their business. So if someone indicates on their profile that they want to get financial help, then I would match them with someone like you. Yeah, so the idea of it is to facilitate connections that drive business. So we just launched that side of
That
things.
is so cool.
Which has been so exciting because
Yeah.
I love to facilitate connections like that.
Yeah.
So to actually make it into an aspect of the business.
Yeah. To get
is-
paid to do that is
Right.
like, wait, what? Like, I
Yeah.
just love doing this.
I know. So yeah, so if they actually go through with the meeting, they get a $5 Starbucks gift card
How fun.
so that they get their virtual coffee.
yeah, so they can go have the coffee.
Right,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, so was this something like because of COVID, or was it just kind of fits perfectly into
Yeah,
distancing?
a little bit of both. I was actually driving and I was thinking just about how people in, like I have a friend who lives in Missouri
Mm-hmm.
and she kind of lives in like the suburbs, and it's so different than like a major city like
Yeah.
New York, or like even a smaller city like Tampa.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about like, how does she stay inspired, motivated?
Yeah.
Like she can't go to events anymore. She's probably getting
Right.
tired of Zoom. So to be able to facilitate connections,
Yeah.
and it's just like done for you networking. Like,
Wow.
yeah. So we
That's
just
incredible.
launched that side of things.
Congratulations, that's
Thank
incredible.
you.
So what kind of services could you match up? Like is sky the limit, or is it like
Yeah, so what I've seen a trend in, especially so far, I mean, we just launched like this week.
Yeah.
But so far, I've seen a lot of mindset things.
Okay.
Which I was surprised because I thought it would be more tangible skills that people are looking for.
Right, like social media help or
Right.
branding or
Right,
yeah.
but they're looking for a lot of help with like imposter syndrome, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
So we have that, but we also have like we can match you with marketing specialists, PR experts from like all these different cities.
That is so cool.
Because we have members from everywhere,
Wow. And it's all female?
all
Is it-
female.
wow.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah. So it's almost like a Facebook group on steroids because we're actually pairing you up with people for more one-on-one connection.
I love that because I've gone to like in-person mixers where there's amazing, powerful women in
Mm-hmm.
the room, but like I don't have time to like walk up to
Right.
every single one and be like, "What do you do? What do you do?" You know, like
Right.
and figure out if it's a match. So to have someone facilitate that is like so much more efficient and exciting because it's like, wow, a solution to my problem being
Yeah.
solved for me.
I know, right? And who
Yeah.
knows, like when in-person events will be widely popular again.
Yeah, it could be a
Who
long
knows?
time. Yeah, totally. Wow, that's so cool.
So that's on that side of things.
Okay.
And then
What else? Tell me
for-
everything.
Yeah, so for our clients, we mostly do launches. So we'll work with a client like 6 months before they're launching a product
Okay.
or they're launching their book. And we do all their PR for them. We kind of handle the entire launch.
Okay.
Because there's a lot, and they're still working a full-time job in media.
Right.
So one of
right.
our clients is actually, or she launched a book in the middle of the coronavirus.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was very interesting because at that time, like they were on call all the time because they were always like throwing back to press conferences. So there was
Right.
never like when you have a job in media like that, especially on TV, it's not just like, okay, at this time you're definitely leaving. Like if there's breaking news, you're not leaving.
Oh no. Oh.
Yeah, so that was very interesting to coordinate. So I was able to basically take that entire launch and just handle it for her.
Wow. Wow. So what does a launch look like? Like I have an accounting brain, so I'm like, what's that? Like, what does it mean to launch something?
Yeah, so specifically with a book, you know, you've put like 2 years into writing this book.
Yeah.
You're probably exhausted. And now you're about to go on another like 6-month run to actually launch the book. So the first month that we start working together, we're probably like 5 or 4 months away from the actual launch day. And we kind of talk about like a launch plan strategy. So like, where do you want to launch the book? Do you want a launch party? What kind of are like those heavy hitter outlets that you really
Yeah.
want to be featured on? So we
Okay.
go through like kind of like your wish list of things. And from there, we actually have to start immediately reaching out to all the outlets.
Wow.
Because sometimes they're on like a 3-month waiting list
Oh,
before it
geez.
even launches.
So what kind of outlets? Like news?
News outlets, it could be other bigger podcasts, it could be like more popular mainstream outlets like Forbes, Entrepreneur, Huffington Post, stuff like that.
How do you get in touch with someone?
Like from the Huffington Post.
Yeah, like how do you get like noticed by them to like a response?
Yeah, so
I'm asking you so many questions. I'm so interested in this.
no, I love that. I love sharing this kind
I'm like,
of
how
stuff.
do you do this? This is crazy.
So I keep like a very organized spreadsheet, and we'll take like one media angle. So the media angle could really be anything. Like you could even say like female entrepreneur launches X, Y, and Z if that's what it was.
Yeah.
But for Linda, the media angle was Emmy Award-winning journalist. I'm trying to remember. Emmy Award-winning journalist launches coronavirus book in the middle of the pandemic. So we would go on like Huffington Post or Forbes and see other writers who are covering similar stories. We would either pull their contact information from a special tool that we use. I forget the exact name of it.
Interesting.
Or we would just contact them directly through Twitter and send them the pitch. I always send a video messages with it and embed it in the email because once you can see when they like view the video message and everything.
Wow, clever.
I always send video messages.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's so much more personal, right? It's like real. Like, yeah.
Right. Like an actual person. You're not just like mass sending these things out. Because I'll say, hey, Rebecca,
Yeah.
I just read your article on X, Y, and Z. I think I have a guest that would really intrigue you. So I say something
Wow.
like that.
That is so clever. And it's like they probably feel flattered that like, oh, you've already learned
Right.
about me and you're interested in me.
Right.
And you've done your research on me and you're trying to find a solution for me too.
Right.
You know, it's like a win-win.
Right.
So it sounds like you don't just have to pitch like to a new like potential client for yourself. You also have to pitch like on behalf of your clients to get them.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So, because I was thinking when you said pitching earlier that like, you know, if you're trying to find a client for yourself, you have to like pitch your services
Right.
to them. But this is like on a whole nother level. Like once now
Yeah.
you have the client and you still
Both
have
sides of things.
That's a lot of pitching.
It's a lot of pitching.
Your arm must be sore. Is that sports?
That is so funny.
It's like a
I'm going to use
dad
that joke now.
I think it's like a dad
I
joke.
love dad jokes, so I'm going to use that
too.
joke now. But yeah, it's a lot, and it's a lot of putting yourself out there too.
And like rejection. Like
my
you were
gosh,
saying.
yeah.
Ugh.
And I can be because I'm so emotion driven and I believe so full heartedly in all of my clients that when they get rejected, I almost take it personally for them.
Oh.
Yeah, because that's the whole idea about being a wing woman
woman,
is
yeah.
like we're their sidekick throughout the entire launch or throughout the entire product
Yes.
launch. And we're just there advocating for them. It's a very emotional process.
Yeah.
To launch something, it's a roller coaster ride.
Wow. Wow. Ugh. And like what a dream to have a wing woman to be there. So that's how you came up with the name.
Yeah, I don't even know how I came up with it. I had such a hard time coming up with a name at first, but then it hit me, I guess.
Yeah. You're like, wait, this encompasses like exactly what I'm trying to do for women.
Right. Yeah, and my big goal for myself is just to have like Wing Woman to be a company that has multiple different products, services underneath it, all for women.
That's amazing.
Because I started with a separate organization. It's more of like the Wing Woman Foundation now.
Okay.
But it's called Gals with Goals.
Oh,
So we
fun.
start with college-age girls.
Whoa.
Because my goal is to move them, like as they graduate college, to move them through all the different products and services of Wing Woman.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so we would host huge conferences on college campuses until coronavirus. But we would have like 100 female students at a university,
Wow.
and we would bring in like TV personalities to talk to them about more untraditional career paths. So yeah, that's kind of how it started and then led into Wing Woman.
Whoa, that is so cool. So where is Wing Woman gonna keep going? So you said there's gonna be more
Yes.
like products and things, but
Services,
like what's
yeah.
like 5 years, 10 years? Like,
I love these kinds of
yeah,
questions.
because I know you've got it planned out. I know you've got your goals and your plans, and I know you're getting Starbucks if you reach this goal. So what's it gonna take to get the next Starbucks?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, in the next like 5 or 10 years, I definitely see it just expanding out like the matchmaking program, having more like speed networking events to promote that side of things.
Yeah.
Hopefully have like a Wing Woman office with a mini
Yes.
team.
Oh my God, so cute.
And just connecting like a ton of different women and launching products off the back end of that, and just building out like those creative ideas, supporting other women.
Wow.
Whether they're our client or not, just building out their big ideas too.
That's incredible. How exciting.
Thank you.
Oh, you got
Thank
a
you.
bright future ahead of
Thank you so much.
So my last question is, why women? And I know that's like a silly question because
It's
why,
not-
like,
no,
duh.
yeah.
But like, how, if like say like a man like was like,
Right.
you gotta be my wing woman. Like,
I would
what-
definitely do it.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So
I just focus on women, I think, and I actually thought about this a lot, and I still think about it a lot. And I grew up in dance for like from when I was 3 all the way like almost until high school. So I've always been around a ton of girls. My family is all girls except for my dad.
Oh, wow.
So poor dad.
Yeah.
So I've always been
Lucky
around.
dad.
I know, lucky dad. Yeah. I've always been around a ton of girls, and so I think from that I've been able to pick up on like certain things that I wish that I could support them, or things that they don't realize about themselves. But yeah, if a man would want me to be their wing woman, then I definitely would. But I think I
Yeah.
just see that side of things
Right.
better because I'm around girls all the time.
That makes
all the
perfect
time.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I seem like a younger version of myself. I had so many women in particular in the beginning who opened so many different doors for me. So I think that really had an impact too, because I want to be able to do that for like the version of myself that's still in high school
yeah.
down the line.
That's so inspiring. It's it's
Thank
just your
you.
specialty. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It just flows naturally.
Yeah, you gotta just when you can feel something's flowing, you just gotta go for
Right,
it.
right.
Yeah. So what is like your dream client, ideal client? Like if people are listening, like who should reach out to you?
Yeah, so definitely for our one-on-one work, if they're launching a book, a product, or if they're just wanting to build a business off of their personal brand, we definitely specialize in working with individuals, getting them more exposure. And then on the matchmaking side, just if they're a female entrepreneur or a professional wanting to match with people across the entire nation, really.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so cool. So how can we get in touch with you?
Definitely on Instagram or on our website, Wing Woman Brands. And you can shoot me a message to say that you saw this.
Yeah.
Because I would love to see it. And I can give you a discount for the matchmaking program
perfect.
too.
Oh,
So if they're listening
awesome.
to this, they can send me a DM.
Yay. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much
This
for
is
having me.
incredible.
The
I've learned
coolest
so
accountant
much.
ever.
Oh, stop. I try, but I really just try to live vicariously through like amazing people
Oh my
doing
gosh,
really
thank
cool
you.
things. So this is so inspiring. I feel like I need to go write some goals down and get organized and like rewards. I need prizes and rewards. Like I love it.
Always. You deserve a mobile order today
Yes.
just for
Oh
this.
my God, I'm so inspired. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yay. If you have any questions for us or need help getting started, check us out on social media. We are on Instagram at Conscious Accounting, and our website is conscious-accounting.com, or you could email us at info@conscious-accounting.com.